Hey, I'm here! I just gave you a long-ass explanation as to... Gee, I'm sorry guys, what an idiot. I was running late, so I was like, man, I gotta get this show going. Is this close enough? Is this close enough? Hello everybody, welcome to the first goddamn Q&A of 2024. Yeah, it doesn't need to be this close. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now, goddammit? We're good, right? So I'm gonna repeat the last 3 minutes. Oh man. Anyway, well, I was just saying that I made this compilation that you're listening to right now, about 1 hour of amazing Falcom RPG music. You can find it on my main channel anytime you want. It's public. It'll be public forever, as long as it doesn't get demonetized or copyright fucked in the ass. And I made this one a long time ago, about a little bit over 3 years ago, and I remember I didn't include the names of the composers. So what I was saying earlier, without my microphone, is that I didn't think it would be that relevant to include the names of the composers back then, so I didn't. I just, included the image of the game, the cover of the game, and the name of the song, right? I thought that should be enough, but yeah, a lot of people started saying you should include the names of the composers to give them proper credit, and I agreed. And eventually, for my future music compilation, I started including the names of the composers because they do deserve it. And this is one of my first random music compilation videos that I did, but this is my first one, as you probably already know. Most of you probably don't, or in case for those who don't. The very first JRPG content in this channel was top 50 regular town themes, RPG town themes. Each song was a separate video, not exactly a video, it's just a screenshot in the song, and that's it. So those were some of my first 50 videos in this channel. In 2010, damn, 14 years ago I started that top 50, so I guess, this channel is like 16 years old, I think. No, not really. I don't know. But the first RPG content in this channel was 14 years ago. Damn. And I also made a couple of top 10s, battle themes and boss battle themes in 2015, I think. Or 2014, I think it was 2015. And I'm gonna play one of those today at the end. But for now, we're gonna hang out while I answer your goddamn questions while we listen to some amazing Falcom RPG music. Thank you for joining, everybody. On to your goddamn questions. Thank you for your comments, everybody. Now that you can finally hear me, we can get on to answer your questions. This is the first Q&A of 2024. Are you excited for East 10? Yes, I am. What can we expect in you this year, Erick? Will there be more physical media pickups, or we are definitely heading to the digital era? So that's two questions in one, Yum Yum. The first question, what can you expect from me? I already talked about that in the last Q&A. I was saying that this year I'm going to continue, as always, creating content focused on JRPGs, but I kind of started since like 3 months ago, not focusing on, but including and uploading a few long-form content. Those videos that are like 40 minutes long, 1 hour long, 2 hours long, not just the music compilations, just overall compilations or brand new videos, right? Stuff like that will continue. Not that often. It's not like that's the direction my channel is heading into, but it's gonna happen. So yeah, and I'm gonna try some new stuff here and there. As always, every year I try out new stuff, and if it works, it stays, and if it doesn't, it goes away. And my little original IP video series that I've been doing for the past few years, Some of them have worked out and they will continue, like Super Obscure Gems, 5 RPGs I need to talk about, surpassed my expectations, the top 50s, the videos I do with you in these Q&As every now and then, those will continue. So yeah, and you can expect, maybe, probably, if YouTube fucking wants to, you can expect me to reach 100,000 subscribers, maybe next month, maybe in a couple of months. I have no idea. I'm still surprised that I'm getting closer to that number. I thought for sure YouTube will do the impossible to prevent me from doing that. And anyway, your second question is, are we heading definitely to the digital era? Yeah. Indeed we are. Physical media, we've talked about this topic many times before. I don't think physical media will disappear anytime soon. It will kind of disappear at some point. We will get to a point where Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation will no longer have physical media for their next consoles. Maybe the PlayStation 7. I get the feeling the PlayStation 6 will still release physical media. So will the next Xbox, or maybe not. Nintendo definitely. But yeah, we are heading into the digital era, but that's gonna be in like probably 10 years, you know. I give it 10 years at least, so we can see that big jump, you know, no more physical media. But then companies like limited run games, super rare games, and those companies, you know, I think they will still prevail and still focus on printing physical copies of games that are no longer getting released, physical releases. Yeah, and pickups videos, I stopped doing that like 10,000 years ago. Okay, so Eric, I remember you saying you have suffered with insomnia in the past. Well, last night I had a really bad night because it was normal, the weather was normal, you know, I was just there. And I couldn't fall asleep for some reason. An hour went by, a second hour went by, like 2 hours. And then for no reason, this is the cold season here in this city. And for no reason it started being pretty damn hot. And I figure it was because it was about to rain maybe. When it's in here, when it's about to rain, sometimes it starts getting really fucking hot for no reason. So yeah, I had a really bad night. So, and the longest you went without sleep, the whole night. That's only happened probably like 2-3 times in my whole life, thankfully. But yeah, the whole night. You know, I had occasions where I didn't sleep the whole fucking night. If you were a JRPG character, what will be your role in the party? I've answered this question before. I think my role will be probably the magician, the mage. For some reason, I see myself in that. You know, I don't see myself holding a sword or an axe or a lance or something like that. Maybe a lance, maybe. You know, yeah, I think I will definitely be some kind of mage or tactician, so I can develop some strategies for my party and have them all killed. Wish you do your content format to include visual novels too. I can't do that, man. You know, there's close to zero interest from my audience when it comes to visual novels. And not only that, even if there was, I couldn't do it because I'm just not a fan of the genre, man. So that's just something that I'm not gonna do. Sorry. I'm not gonna answer any more Square Enix questions, man. Can we not talk about Square Enix today? I have a great soothing ASMR voice. Okay, some creators are so annoying. 52-year-old gamer here, and will play JRPGs until I die, says Raven Wolf. Man, you're not that old yet. But yeah, 52 and you're still rocking on JRPGs, man. That's awesome. That's awesome, man. I didn't know my voice was soothing. Maybe I will start creating content like that. Like, hey guys, what's up? Here's my voice so you can fall asleep while I read some shitty reviews from the worst JRPGs ever made, featuring Time and Eternity. How about that, huh? Didn't we talk about the AI translations in the previous Q&A? We made it a topic. I remember that. Thank you, Sairan. I hope that pronounced that correctly. Thanks a bunch. Happy New Year to you too. Well, now that I opened the Pandora's box about limited run games and those companies, someone's asking, do I collect games by them? No, I do not. I was just thinking last night about that, you know? I was thinking about that. I was having a conversation with somebody last night about that, about those companies. And I was like, well, I think there's two sides of a coin. There's some good and bad things about those companies. I don't think those companies started doing what they do nowadays and what they did back then when they started with ill intentions. Obviously not. Their whole intent was to precisely to create a physical copy of a video game that it just seemed that wasn't gonna get any, right? And they needed to make sure they needed to make sure that nobody else will print a copy of that game so they could have the rights to it and print it. So, but they by doing this with a good intent, you know, they ended up creating a gold mine for scalpers. Like I said, it wasn't their intention. I don't think limited run games, when they started, they thought about that, you know, oh my god, eventually my copies, all of these copies from my game are gonna sold out, and then scalpers are gonna pick them up and they're gonna resell them for insane prices. Or maybe they did, but they didn't think too much of that, because all they were printing back then, I think this is a company that started like 5-6 years ago, right? I think around 2018, maybe 17, around that time. Correct me if I'm wrong, of course. You know, I don't know the full history of these companies. But limited run games, I think it was one of the first ones, if not the first one. So I think the impact they made on the collecting industry was huge, because a lot of people slowly started buying their games and being thankful and grateful to them for printing copies of games that were 100% sure not getting a physical release, like never. You know, I own a copy. It's Cosmic Star Heroine. It's by Limited Run Games, and I got it. And I think that's the only. I think I may own like 1 or 2 games from those companies, really. So to answer your questions, I do not collect games from these companies because they're usually very expensive, and I live in Mexico. So my other problem is that these companies sell games, but they have a big problem with shipping services. And not a big problem in their country of origin, of course, but international shipping is always very expensive when it comes to these companies. It's not like in Amazon, where there are services that you can have for free. You have a lot of free shipping online. You have a lot of dirt cheap free international shipping in some websites. Not by these websites, not by these companies. You know, I try to buy something from Limited Run Games, is $40 plus fucking 20 of shipping plus fucking 10 of taxes. So I end up paying $70 for a $40 game. So obviously I do not collect anything from these companies. And if I see their games on retro stores or gaming stores, places like that, you know, they're usually expensive because fucking scalpers, right? Or resellers, you know, what's a reseller going to do? Most resellers aren't scalpers, thankfully. So what do? They buy their games, or they get them used by some random dude that walked into the store and sold them a bunch of copies. And some of these resellers have to maintain a reasonable price, but others just don't. And it's only natural because these companies print so very few copies. That's why some of these names are limited run games, you know, limited print runs, right? So eventually they become rare and expensive, and everybody wants to sell them in exchange for a fucking kidney, man. So to conclude this little topic, this question, I respect the original intent these companies had when printing copies of games that weren't gonna get any. I'm also kind of grateful for that, but at the same time, I don't give a shit about that anymore, because all they did was create this huge scalping market, and they fucking ruined it. It's not like I said, they didn't do that on purpose, but that's what they did. So maybe they should find a way to print more copies or to make some kind of deeper analysis of the market and come up with a solution, because it's a problem, right? All of these copies, and usually some of the rarest games nowadays on modern consoles are from these companies. Anyway, have you ever played or known a series called Clock Tower? Yes, I have. I played the original PS1 games, and well, I've played the whole trilogy. The first two games were kind of hard to get into. I found them really outdated, even though they were released in the late 90s, early 2000s. They just felt like straight port sort of computer games that were like from the early 90s, in my opinion, mid 90s. And I couldn't get into them. The ideas were interesting, but I'm just not really a fan of point and click. The first one was a bit of a point and click game and a survival horror. It was a great attempt to create that mix of genres, but I just didn't find it appealing. And the second game was a little bit more different. Now you have like more control over your character, but it was very cryptic. I didn't know what to do or where to go, and I got lost pretty easily. The third game on the PlayStation 2 felt more like a true survival horror game, like an actual survival horror game, resembling the Resident Evil games or Silent Hill, Dino Crisis. And I liked it a little bit more, but I never finished it for some reason. I don't even remember why. I still have a physical copy of it. I mean, it's pirated, but I think I do somewhere. Maybe I'll go back to it one day. But as you probably already know, I became a huge die-hard fan of Haunting Ground. I do own a physical copy of it, and that became pretty much my favorite survival horror game of all time, and it still is, up there with Little Nightmares. So I'm a big fan of Haunting Ground, but Clock Tower, not really the biggest fan out there. How do you feel about Final Fantasy Shin Megami Tensei crossover? Those two series come from two extremely politicized companies, so I'm not interested, to be honest. It's probably gonna be another Tokyo Mirage Sessions bullshit, or something like that. So I'm not interested, man. How about underrated JRPGs in PS4 list, please? Yeah, probably. I feel like I gotta wait until the PlayStation 4 is over to start making certain videos, like the best of the best PS4 JRPGs, and not just the best so far. Like the definitive list, like the best JRPGs on PS4. No remakes or remasters or anything, just JRPGs that were released, developed specifically for the PlayStation 4. So yeah, videos like top 50, top 10, or underrated, I think I'm gonna have to wait a little bit more, maybe until the PlayStation 4's lifespan is over. It was the 10th anniversary last year. A lot of people didn't notice that, probably because, I don't know, celebrating 10 years of a console that's still going. A lot of people don't seem to give a shit about that for some reason. I did, and one of the main reasons why I made my PlayStation 4 collection video was precisely to celebrate its 10th anniversary, and like a fucking idiot, I forgot to mention it during the video. I was so looking forward to showing it. I just got so caught up with putting the games on the table and figuring out how I was gonna do the video and how I was gonna show them off and which gameplay footage I was gonna show. I got so caught up in that I completely forgot to say at the beginning, hey, the PlayStation 4 is 10 years old! Yeah, shame on me. But anyway, going back to your question, there will be more lists on PS4, but for some lists, I'd rather wait until its lifespan is over. I'm pretty sure this year is gonna be the last one. Pretty sure 2024 is probably going to be the last year for PS4. Maybe we will get some releases next year in 2025, but something tells me 2024 is the last year. It's the last year for the PlayStation 4. You're still waiting for Breath of Fire for a remake on PS4 5? I don't think that's gonna happen, man. The best we can hope for is some kind of remaster or some kind of collection with all of them. Remake? Never gonna happen. Do you have the video on where to start on Trails? Yes, I do. Look it up. Just type Erick Landon Trails, I guess, and you'll see there where to start. We need someone to keep physical versions alive for preservation. I think there'll always be a market, especially for there will always be a market, especially for collector's editions or packaged with mementos. Yeah, me too. I don't think collecting is gonna die. At least not for a few decades. Took over a year and a half to get some games from limited run games. Well, yeah. I don't know why. There's also possibilities of the actual shipping of games being late to ship to your house in another country or failing to ship at all. You tell me about it, man. You know, the Mexican Postal Service. Fuck those guys with a passion. Fuck those guys, man. They steal like half of anything people send overseas. They have stolen from me 4 packages with video games in the past. And that's the reason why I stopped using them. Like, fuck those guys, man. Freaking criminals. Have you ever played or known a series called... Oh, I already answered that. Did you even play the worst one, Clock Tower Ghost Head? No, I've never heard of that. I only know the trilogy and Haunting Ground. Never heard of Ghost Head. Did you play Arno Surge, Ode to an Unborn Star on the PS3? Yes, I do. I have it. It's the prequel to the Art Nellico series. Great game. Actually, it's one of those games that start off kind of weird because the battle system is like... Okay, the game's too fucking easy for the most part. It isn't until you start getting close to the end when it starts getting challenging. But yeah, it's one of those games that also, the more you advance, the more you start liking it. At the beginning, it's kind of like, man, this is not that great, but stick to it and you'll find a wonderful game. Thank you, Yum Yum. When do you think we can expect another SMT game? I just talked about that on my second channel, man. Probably in like 3 to 4 years, maybe. I think Atlas is gonna wait. I think the world needs Persona 6 more so than SMT 6. Have you played Rule of Rose? Yes, I did a long time ago. I actually played that game without knowing anything about it. I just found a copy of it, pirated copy, bootleg copy of it, in a flea market once, and I brought it home. And I didn't know it was rare and expensive or controversial, or I didn't know anything. It was a completely blind buy, and I bought it because it looked like a survival horror game, and it was. And I remember playing it, and God, man, I couldn't get into it. I really wanted to like that game because I was big into games like Haunting Ground, Clock Tower, survival horror games, Resident Evil, Silent Hill. I was a big fan of the genre back then, and I just found the game to be kind of boring, getting lost in a mansion full of orphans, and that played tricks on you. And it's more like, I guess it's also one of those games that very, very slowly starts getting more interesting and more horrific, I guess. But I think I remember putting like 2-3 hours into it and just didn't get anywhere. I solved some puzzles and got lost, and I got the dog and I could fight, but the controls were pretty, I don't want to say terrible, they were just kind of mediocre. Felt unresponsive sometimes, sluggish sometimes, and at first I thought it's done on purpose because it's a survival horror game. So the more useless you feel as the player with the controls, the more intense the game becomes, because you feel that hopeless desperation of trying to control your character perfectly as you try to run away from some enemy or from some monsters, or as you try to kill them, right? But you know what? As I kept playing, I came to the realization that it wasn't the case, that the controls were just not that great, and eventually I just ditched the game. And it was after that when I found out about everything about that game, that it was so freaking expensive and rare, that it was controversial because of the orphans, the little kids and whatnot. And I remember a lot of people were praising the game, saying, "Oh, this game is expensive, yes, but it's awesome." And I'm like, "Man, no, this is one of the most overrated games I've played in my life." It's not great, guys. It's not a bad game at all. It's actually good, and I think if you stick to it and you have a little patience, you can kind of grow to like it, right? But I just didn't have the patience back then, and I ditched it, and I moved on, and I never went back to it. I think it's a very overrated game, and its popularity comes mainly for being so freaking expensive. Are you excited for the new Yakuza Like a Dragon RPG game? Yeah, I am. I probably won't get it. Yeah, until it's like $20 maybe. But yeah, I'll get it at some point. Black Rose Valkyrie in PS4. How about that game? You mean Dark Rose Valkyrie? It's not a good game. It's not a bad game either, but it's not good either. It's just full of problems. God, I've seen so many JRPGs with great ideas, trying to be original and trying to be creative. Compile Heart, the company who developed that game, often tries to do that. They try to be as innovative as they can to stay alive on the market because they are still a very obscure company. A lot of people don't pay attention to their games, especially because of the sexualization. Not that fan service is a bad thing, but it's more like a lot of people don't take the game seriously because of the fan service. And that's a game with that's basically a harem. You play as this guy, and then you date girls and bond with them and pick your waifu and whatnot. So it's one of those, right? But it's a game where the difficulty spikes and the exploration ruined it. You get to a point quite early in the game, not even 5 hours into it, and you're like, man, I'm lost, I don't know where to go, I don't know what to do. And to get back to town, it's a pain in the ass. To get back to your base, it's a pain in the ass. And then, yeah, you kind of need to walk through to traverse the freaking dungeons or areas because they're too long, full of enemies, no random encounters. And it became a pretty much boring, repetitive, tedious grind fest. And even if you, I don't remember if the game has any difficulty settings. If you can play it on easy, even if you play it on easy, the exploration still kind of kills it. So yeah, it's just one of those games, man. I don't think it's great, but it's not bad. It's just there. I think it's one of the worst compile hard JRPGs ever made. Is there a JRPG where you love the story but hated the characters? Yeah. Good question, man. Okay, it's impossible for me to say that a game has a great story, but all of its characters are bad. That's just impossible, man. It's more like there are JRPGs out there where the story was great, but some characters were pretty terrible, or some of the characters ruined it for me. I remember Tokyo Xanadu. It's always one of the perfect examples to come to my mind. Like, damn, all that old crap. It just kind of ruined it for me. And some of the characters were pretty annoying, but it seemed like an interesting story with interesting plot. Kind of cliche, classic students belong to a secret organization that fights demons. I mean, we've seen that plot recycled since the 80s, man. But I thought the story was pretty good. How about Xenoblade Chronicles 2? That was a game where it had some annoying characters that I kind of hated. Like the protagonist, I didn't hate him, but he was like pretty bad. He was like Rex. I mean, this guy, oh man, what a douchebag. And extremely generic, the guy. And the story was still, I mean, if you paid attention to the story, forget about the characters and the sexualization and the jokes. It just feels like a story written by Compile Heart, actually. But the plot itself, there's some really good stuff about it. The lore of it, the world building, some of the characters have this interesting development. So yeah, that's another example. And I also did a video called 10 JRPGs with great story but bad gameplay. Not exactly what you're asking, but it's kind of similar. There are some really good stories out there that are kind of ruined or deeply affected by several things. Gameplay, characters, music, maybe. Have you played Eternal Darkness on the GameCube? Yes, I did. That's another game that I couldn't get into because I didn't know what was I supposed to do. I think I completed the girl's... what was her name? I forget her name. The blondie. Wow. She's so hot, man. I love that character. I completed her character. Well, the first chapter, and then I started playing with the other character. Like, he starts at the bottom of a dungeon or basement, I don't remember. And that's when I gave up. First, because all I wanted to do was play with a girl. I don't want to play as this new douchebag, you know, who the fuck is this guy? Why am I playing as this guy? You know, and then, I don't know, for some reason all the gameplay went to hell for me. The puzzles were like, the controls, the movement, I just wanted to play with a girl, damn it! It's a good game nonetheless. Take my opinion with a grain of salt, I never made it any farther than that. What do you think about emulation for Switch? I don't play 2 games that I can't find in my country. I think nothing of it because I can't emulate on the Switch. I only have one console, one Switch, and it isn't hacked, and I can't emulate on it. So you're asking the wrong guy, man. Do you consider your channel one of the biggest JRPG channels in YouTube in terms of subscribers? I have no idea. A few years ago, I stopped paying attention to other JRPG channels and what they do and how many views they get or subscribers. I stopped caring about that, stopped paying attention, so I have no idea if I'm big or small. I have no clue, man. I don't feel big, especially not nowadays, since I'm pretty much blacklisted on the website. And what I do know is this channel, my YouTube channel, became influential. And yeah, sure, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. You know, it's one of the first JRPG channels. Well, one of the first YouTube channels that started focusing 100% on Japanese role-playing games. And I think I made top 10 JRPGs into a trend. Probably. Because right after I started was making top 10s on JRPGs, which was back in 2014. I remember almost nobody was doing them, and there were only like a couple of videos from channels that weren't dedicated to creating JRPG top 10s, right? So I came along, and some of my videos succeeded, and most of my channel focus back then was merely top 10 JRPG top 10s, and I noticed that between 2018, 2019, other YouTubers started following, and then it became a trend, and nowadays everybody and their mom are doing them. But yeah, one of the biggest JRPG channels, I have no clue, man. Are you ready for the remake of Silent Hill 2? Yeah, even though I never beat that game on the PlayStation 2, I think I remember getting all the way up to my second encounter with Pyramid Head, and I never made it past that for some reason. I got into Silent Hill 2 pretty late. That was when I was completely obsessed with JRPGs, so I started overlooking and getting away from survival horror games. So yeah, I got late into Silent Hill 2, and I wish I could have appreciated the game like everybody else did back then, but I got pretty late into it, you know. I mean, the PlayStation 3 was already out, and everybody was talking about Origins, Homecoming, and Downpour, and I was, for the first time, playing Silent Hill 2, and also, like I said, you know, I was just getting more and more into Japanese role-playing games that I kind of forgot about survival horror games. So yeah. Am I excited for the remake? Yes, I am. Am I gonna get it? No. I'm gonna get it until it's like $10 or $20. Physical, of course. Don't tell me it's not getting a physical relief. Don't do that, Konami. Is it getting a physical? It's not getting one, isn't it? Fuck. Alan Wake 2 didn't get one. Happy New Year to you too, guys. Thanks for joining. How old am I? I'm 38 years old as of the making of this live stream. Tips for Valkyria Chronicles? Okay, so... Wow! I'm not gonna lie to you, man, the first Valkyria Chronicles game that was my very first time playing a video game like that. I mean, it's such a unique experience that the only other game that I can think of that's similar to it is XCOM, the XCOM series, but I didn't get into the XCOM series until later. So Valkyria Chronicles was my first strategy RPG of that kind, and I got so lost that I remember, I do remember seeing some tips online, but it was mostly about, for this particular mission, just use more Lancers and focus on defeating the tanks first, stuff like that. So the best tips I can give you is, well, first and foremost, it's a very addictive game to me. So I didn't mind trying out different things and getting a game over. It's frustrating, especially when you are almost at the end of a 1 hour long mission. All of a sudden you die and it's back to the fucking beginning. Unless you saved somewhere in between. If you do that, you can restore from the point before you fucked up, right? Which is usually better for the longer missions. Use those saves, that's my first tip. But be careful, don't overwrite your main file. Always use separate save files for when you save in the middle of a mission. And just, if you can, just restart the mission. Valkyria Chronicles is all about trial and error. I mean, it's really hard to strategize because the enemies can be so unpredictable. And because it's a game that relies on RNG, and the RNG can be fucked up sometimes. You can sometimes be pretty close to the enemy, and you start shooting, and they duck, and they dodge your attack. Sometimes even if you attack them from behind, the game tells you to attack the enemies from behind, because there are bigger chances of them not dodging the attack. But sometimes they do, and how is that your fault? There's nothing you can do about that. That's the RNG bullshit right there, man. So, it's one of those trial and error. Maybe don't attack that particular soldier the same way, or hope that the motherfucker doesn't dodge your attack. Stuff like that. Or sometimes with the snipers, you're pretty sure you're gonna hit their heads and kill them in one shot, and they evade, or you just do very little damage. So, yeah, what I'm trying to say is that be patient with that game. It's worth it, but it's all about trial and error, trying to figure out what to do, how to approach the game strategies, which characters to move where, how to use the scouts, each class, stuff like that. You can grind also a little bit if you want to. So yeah, be patient with that game. It's worth it. It's a masterpiece. All the games in the series, even the second one on the PSP, which is the worst in the series, it's still pretty good, by the way. So yeah, I love that series so much, man, that I don't mind losing and rage quitting, because I know for a fact I'm gonna be there 5 minutes later trying to beat the mission and trying out a different strategy. So yeah, just be patient, man. Oh, and don't try to abuse. Well, this is a game. These are games where you can't just break a unit, a specific unit, unless late in the game you start getting like exclusive equipment for some units, specific characters, right? And that makes them a little bit more powerful. But you can't grind these units separately. You only grind the classes. That you level up, the experience you get is shared, amongst the entire class of characters. And so obviously you're not gonna be able to properly break some of the characters or some of the classes. But the best advice I can give you is find the characters that you think are more useful and stick to them, even if you won't be able to grind them specifically. Anyway, those are my tips. Are there any RPGs where you love the gameplay and story but you dislike the art style and graphics so much it prevented you completing it? No. I've played games where the art style or the graphics were kind of lame or kind of bad, but they did not prevent me from completing it. So no, there isn't a single one of them. But some examples I can provide of RPGs like that. I always thought Vandal Hearts had a really, well, not really, kind of ugly art style, but I still fucking loved it. Others, I've encountered some graphical issues with the games. Grandia 2 on the PS2. It was a mediocre port of the game on the Dreamcast, and it has a lot of lag and slowdown, and it was fucking annoying. I remember in that game I was getting sometimes into encounters that I didn't want to fight, and because of the lag, because you know you move around and all your characters follow you around, follow you behind you, and if one character touches the enemy, you get into a fucking battle, man. And with the lag, it was annoying. I still completed the game on the PS2. East 9 on the Switch had some resolution issues. You know, whenever you were fighting, you know, man, the resolution went down considerably, and it was kind of bad. But still, I completed the game. But in terms of visuals, like everything is ugly, you know. Well, I only have 2 words for that: PlayStation 1. Man, a lot of RPGs in that console looked fucking ugly, but I still completed them. But yeah, you know, I never quit on a game for having ugly art style or graphics. I don't think so. What RPG? I have a couple of videos on that, Yum. RPG that you can play. No MMORPGs, no online multiplayer. You can couch co-op, right? Like sitting next to an actual human being and playing that. I have 2 videos. There's several of them. I could easily make up, maybe not a top 50, but top 30 at least of JRPGs that you can play with somebody else. I got a couple of videos on that I made like 5 years ago, I think. Yes, I'm excited for Eiyuden Chronicle. Most YouTubers I talk to feel happier not obsessing over subs. Yeah, it's pointless to obsess over subs because most people don't subscribe to channels anymore. I'm pretty sure some of you guys have seen at least one YouTuber saying, "Hey, subscribe to my channel. I just found out about the fact that most of my viewers are not subscribed to this channel." Right? They say stuff like that because it's true. You know, I like almost every single other YouTube channel have like 50-something% of people watching my videos that are not subscribed. People don't subscribe to channels. And like I said before, I don't want to sound like a broken record, so I'll be quick. YouTube started a purge last year, deleting inactive accounts. So it was a pretty hard year for a lot of YouTubers, most YouTubers, even the big ones, in getting subscribers. It was a pretty bad year because YouTube started deleting a lot of inactive accounts and fake accounts and scam accounts and whatnot. You know, so YouTubers lost a lot of subscribers. I did too. So obsessing over subscribers nowadays it's just a waste of fucking time, man. What's your opinion on the Sakura Taisen games? The old ones, not the new ones. Man. I think I've only played 2 of them, which is the new one, and well, I don't know if the one on the Wii and PS2 is part of the old ones, according to you. That's a really excellent game. I loved it. But I've never played the original games, but based on the other 2 games that I played, the new one from like 5 years ago actually, and the one on the Wii, it seems like an extremely fun and addictive series to get into and play. Like they have this visual novel style to them, sure, but there's a lot of decision making and every decision counts with what kind of waifu you'll get, or I don't know. Yeah, I love Sakura Wars, both games that I played. I'd love to go back to the really old ones, but they seem very dated. I've seen gameplay footage. I know some of them are fan translated, but for some reason they seem kind of like they didn't age very well. But they're strategy RPGs, so yeah, one of these days I'll get into the Taisen series for good. But my opinion on the series is not that strong because I've only played the newer ones. Have you seen the screenshots related to the next Trails game, Farewell to Semiria? Well, that's Trails Through Daybreak, right? Or is it not? Or is there a new one? No, I haven't. Have you ever played Dungeon Encounter on PS2? It's pretty fun, but I don't think it's well known. I know the game. I think I saw a physical version of it a long time ago, and I was like, what's this? What kind of game is this? And I looked it up, and I found out about it, but I haven't played it. And I don't know, man. I don't remember it very well. But let's just say that it looks like one of those games where dungeons are randomized, and I'm not really a fan of those. If it's not, let me know. What is your favorite Trails game? Jesus Christ, man. Probably, I don't know, man. It's Sky Second Chapter, Cold Steel 4, or Reverie. In terms of gameplay, Reverie is the best one. It's my favorite in terms of gameplay. In terms of story, I guess I'll go with Cold Steel 4. So yeah. I don't think I have like a solid pick for number 1. Have you tried Other Side? Is it worth getting? Isn't that a hack and slash game, I think, with girls and some pretty shitty dubstep music? I don't remember. I think that's the game you're referring to, but obviously I haven't played it. Have you seen Long Gone Days? A game that was developed years ago by one person RPG maker, but it got a worldwide release last year. No, I haven't played it, and I don't know anything about it. Sea of Stars is overrated? Okay, haven't played it. Oh, I only played a demo. Did you like Artonelico 2? Ooh, yeah, I did. That was one of the few JRPGs I finished and felt it was a huge waste of time. Great music though. Well, I think the exact opposite. I thought it was phenomenal. It's also one of those games that gets better the more you advance. The beginning is kind of like cliche, boring, fan service, girls, harem, blah blah blah. But it starts getting serious, and I remember halfway through the game I was like, this game is fucked up, man. The story's kind of dark, and I don't know, I wasn't expecting this level of darkness with some of the girls in that game. I loved Artonelico 2, man. What do you think of the game Live Alive? Okay, I've never finished either version. I played the original fan-translated Super Famicom version. I liked it, but I never finished it. I found some of the characters to be very difficult in the original version. And then along came the remake, and I only played the demo of it. And I really liked it. I liked it more. I think some issues were fixed, some balancing issues were fixed. But still, you know, I've never finished it because I only played the demo, so I can't give you a strong opinion about it. All I know is that what little I played based on the demo was awesome, and one of these days I'll get into it. I run 2 YouTube channels. You do? Huh. And yes, most viewers are not subscribers. Yeah. I mean, it's just... what do people gain nowadays from subscribing? It used to be like you subscribe to a channel, you're gonna get notifications whenever they're live or whenever they upload a video, but then the notification system started failing miserably, and even if you watch most of my videos, often you don't get notified for one video for many different reasons, right? They never tell you why, and you don't find out about it until later, and you're like, oh my god, he uploaded this video and I didn't get a notification. Then what's the point of being subscribed? So I get it. I get what people don't subscribe to channels anymore, but don't cancel your subscription. Wait until I'm 100,000 subscribers and then do whatever you want. As long as you watch the content, man, that's what matters. Did you ever get to play Cry Machina? I made a review of it, man. Check it out. About the .hack GU trilogy, do I need to know anything about the anime to understand it? You know why I played the entire trilogy without watching the anime? Roots, it's called. And Roots, it's supposed to be a prequel. And yes, even though I didn't do that, I do recommend watching the anime. Only Roots, you don't need to watch any other series. Just watch .hack Roots, and you'll understand Haseo and his motivations, and Ovan and his motivations a lot more when you play the trilogy. So it is highly recommended to watch the anime before playing the trilogy. Oh yeah, I have over around 100 watchers since like half an hour ago, right? That's awesome. Way to start a new year. In dungeon encounters, the dungeons are randomized, but not random encounters. Many ways to skip battles too. And I assume it's one of those games where your party is full of generic characters that never talk. It like Mist Over, you know, like dungeon. What? I forget the name. Fuck. Anyway, Darkest Dungeon, yeah. If it's like those games, I'm not interested, man. I'm not really a fan of those games. Dungeon crawling with generic characters in your party, I'm not a fan, man. I need like a story. Like I need like Soul Hackers, for example. Like it's a dungeon crawler in first person, or any other. Even if it's first person or not, you know. Like I need a strong story with character development and shit, and a good story. You know, like not like something generic, like Saviors of Sapphire Wings. That I was like, man, okay, the game, unlike its predecessor, Stranger of Sword City. Stranger of Sword City has an interesting story, right? But it barely focuses on the characters. I'm not sure, man. I don't think I'm interested in dungeon encounters. Oh, Other Side is like a horror-themed tactical RPG. Okay, that I totally confused the game with something else. Let's find out what the hell Other Side is and how it looks like. Other Side. It's on Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and Windows. Roguelike? Oh, there's a lot of gray here, gray colors. Tons of gray. Red for the grids and the lines. But pretty much a black and white game. That's interesting. So this is what, an indie game? Probably an indie game, right? Protagonists seem to be these... well, the characters look very androgynous. They're girls, right? Nowadays, sometimes it's hard to tell, right? Okay, man, I'll check it out. But roguelike? What song is playing right now? You can see right there, man. Subscribing and clicking the bell means you still get all notifications, though. I've seen a lot of people that are subscribed that clicked on the bell and don't get notified of some things. But yeah, that's supposed to be the point of it. Click on the bell, people. You think you probably are subscribed to this channel, or that you have clicked on the bell, and maybe you miss a lot of my videos and you don't know why? That might be the reason. Subscribe, click the bell, and it may help you increase your chances. The RNG will go up. Well, someday I'll get into Sea of Stars and have my own opinion about it. Have you played Hades? No, I played the other two games by the company Super Giant Games. That's the developer's name. No? Right? Well, those guys did Bastion. And they did Transistor. Isometric View. They're pretty good games, but I never finished either because they just got too repetitive for me. Very repetitive. It's the same over and over and over and over and over again, and I just got tired. They're good games, though, and I have nothing against them, but in the end, they weren't, like... Let's just say they weren't for me. But Transistor, I like the ideas, I like the character, the story. I think the story was better than in Bastion. In Bastion, it was interesting because you get this narrator guy telling the story. while your silent protagonist goes around fighting. That was interesting, but in Transistor it made more sense and it was more compelling. I like the storytelling more, but the gameplay and the battle mechanics in Transistor were like really hard to understand and get into, man. Like truly convoluted and complex. Bastion was simpler and it had better gameplay in my opinion. So yeah, they're good games. A lot of interesting stuff about them too, original ideas. But because I didn't become a real hard, die-hard fan of those games, I never got into Hades. I know Hades was like a wow, overly praised and super successful, and I've seen it for dirt cheap here and there. Maybe one day I'll get into it, but I've heard it's a little bit of a roguelike, like dungeons are randomly generated and stuff like that, which is kind of like in Bastion and Transistor. That turned me off. Anyway. Yeah, exactly. I've covered this topic before about the term overrated. I mean, Foxhound says when people say overrated, there's no such thing. Liking or disliking is subjective, and to say I think it's overrated is to say my subjective opinion is more valid than the majority of the people. That's just your opinion. I think everybody is entitled to say something is underrated or overrated, because in the end it's subjective. If I say something is overrated, it's my opinion. It's because I feel it's been rated too many times and too highly rated, in my opinion, right? So I think it's still valid to say something is overrated or underrated, but people need to know that that's just an opinion. What isn't valid is people attacking you for calling something overrated or underrated. Anyway, what was the name of the game you recommended that was like Odin's Sphere? Oh, that's Sword of the Vagrant. I'll review it. I'm just waiting for the right video to review it. It's probably gonna have to be in next month. I'm waiting for I'm not gonna make a full review of that out of that game. It's gonna be one of those videos. You'll either see me talking about it or reviewing it on another super obscure gems video, or one of those 5 RPGs I need to talk about where I do like small reviews. Yeah, it's probably gonna be in one of those videos, right? But yeah, if you don't want to wait for the review, the name of the game is Sword of the Vagrant. Wow, the playlist is over. Okay, so that was the last song, Sunshine Coastline. What a trip, huh? That's an overrated song, isn't it? And I fucking love it. Alright, so let's move on to this. It's a top 10 best Shin Megami Tensei regular battle themes. They also did about 3 years ago, maybe. Check it out. The full video is on my main channel. Yep. So let's do this. Here we are. The original. The battle theme from Shin Megami Tensei 2. The one that never came out of Japan, baby. Maybe one day we'll get it. Those 2 games need a remake. As a musician, do you use DAWs? If so, which one? What the hell is a DAW? I probably know the name of that thing in Spanish, just not in English. What is DAW, man? Super Giant Games. Yeah, the developers of Bastion. Yeah, so I got it right. Dude, look up Amori. I know Amori. It's inspired by Earthbound, and I don't like Earthbound. But then again, it's a mature rated game. It's got some dark and fucked up stuff in there, so I've been told. And I've been seeing it. I've been keeping an eye on it. The Switch version usually goes on sale for like $30-something. I'm gonna wait for the price to drop a little bit because, like I said, I'm a little bit wary about it. But we'll see. Do you like Mystery Science Theater 3000? No clue what that is, man. I think YouTube personalizes notifications for each person by default, unless you select the option to receive all notifications. Okay, so do that, people. If you want to receive all notifications of everything that I do, select that option when you click on the bell. Oh man, I do know why that is. Butterlito. He says I started playing the first two Cold Steel games on the PS Vita, and then I found out they do not have Japanese voiceover. Do you think? Why do you think the reason is? I do know. There was a controversy between that. That was around the time when Exit Games was kind of like getting into some financial conversations with Nihon Falcom, the developers. Something happened in there that Exit said. Well, let's just say that Exit stopped localizing the Trails series, and then NIS America took over. Okay, we all know that. As to why they stopped, I don't know. But why didn't they include the Japanese dub? According to the guy back then at the time who was the head of Exit Games, he said that Falcom told him not to include the Japanese dub. And he and his company were like, why not? Well, okay, if they say don't include it, then we won't include it. And then Falcom retracted those words, according to this guy, and said that Exit fucked up and didn't include the Japanese dub. And so it was a Twitter conversation, I think, and the guy from Exit Games said, no, what the hell's... Why is Falcom saying this? We asked them if we could include the Japanese dub, because the Japanese dub is there in any other game we've localized before. Why wouldn't we include the Japanese dub for these two games in particular? Falcom told us no, so we didn't include it. So he was like, you understand what's going on, right? Falcom told them, no, it's Exit fault. And Exit was like, no, it's their fault, so believe who you want to believe. Are there any JRPGs you consider good for a quick and casual, like 10 minutes gameplay? No. No, I do not. More like grinding, right? I mean, you just go in there and grind, and no, I can't sit down and play a JRPG for only 10 minutes, man. I can't do that. No matter what I'm doing, grinding or not, I gotta sit down and play for like at least half an hour, 1 hour. I just can't turn off a console for 10 minutes. I don't see the point of that. What? A DAW is the music mixing workstation. Sometimes they are software programs, and sometimes they are pieces of hardware that connect to your computer with software. Okay, you need to understand something. I am no longer a musician. I was a musician, but I stopped being one a long time ago. All I've done for the past several years, or decade, actually, for the past 10 years, is just play the guitar along with the songs that I know, and that's it. I don't record anything of the sort. So, do you publish your own music? Those are questions about the musician that I was like 12 years ago, man. I quit my music career about 10 years ago or more, probably more. Is 8 is super overrated. I say it's overrated because I bought the game too many times from the Vita to the PS5. What was the worst game you played last year? I think I remember answering this question before, Kiss. I don't know. Some of the worst RPGs that I played last year are not really that bad, I think. And they were still kinda... There's still some good in them. There's this one, I forget the name, that I covered in a Hidden Gem or Hidden Trash episode. Souls of Chronos, I think. I think it's a Taiwanese or Chinese indie RPG. I couldn't finish it, even though I came pretty close to. I think the game had a lot of issues, and it feels like extremely generic in a lot of areas, including storytelling. So in the end, I just found it pretty lame, right? And I don't think it's a bad game though. It's still kind of worth checking out, but Yeah, it's one of the least interesting games, RPGs that I played last year. What else? Well, I guess Cry Machina. But Cry Machina, again, wasn't bad, and I did finish it, which means I liked it. I still think it's a decent game, but it's just full of major problems, right? Yeah, what else? I don't think I played a single game last year that was like abominable trash that I hadn't played before. I know I did a lot of the worst JRPG streams, and I streamed a lot of games, right? That are pretty bad, but I have played all of those games before, so I knew they were bad. Anyway, so yeah, I can't think right now of a single game or RPG that's like really freaking bad that I played last year. Released last year. Yeah. What do you think about Metaphor Refantasia's gameplay? I haven't watched the trailer. I don't really care that much about that game. I don't trust Atlus USA anymore. I don't like the... I like the developer. I don't like the company because they... Yeah, let's not get into that topic. Happy New Year to you too, Mr. Wonderful. What show? What are you talking about? What show about making fun of all terrible movies? I don't watch any show like that. Oh, Mystery Science Theater 3000. Oh, okay. I don't know what that is. So that's what it is. Oh, thanks for letting me know. You can with those card games by Yoko Taro. Typically 10 minutes or so between good pause spots. What? Okay. So I played some Exceed games and they don't have Japanese dub, so I choose to believe Falcom. Well, if we're talking about most video games from the PlayStation 2 era and below that Exceed localized, you're right, none of them have not a single one of them has a Japanese dub. Wild Arms 4 and 5 were localized by Exit Games, no Japanese audio in there. So maybe they were just talking about other games from the series, maybe the East games. How about the East games on the PSP? Did they have any Japanese dub available? Why do Famicom games have a high price tag? You can wanna watch a video recently released by Pete Dorr, a YouTuber. That's a really old fart, and he's about my age. He's one of the oldest gaming channels on YouTube, and he just released a video theorizing about why import collecting became fucking stupid, and why a lot of import games from Famicom, Super Famicom, PS1 that never came out of Japan, why a lot of Japanese games, you know, were previously dirt cheap and nowadays are freaking expensive. Where has the time gone? Feels like just yesterday that it was New Year's. Yeah, I agree. Where are we in the top 10? Like number 6? Yeah, normal battle. I think this is regular battle themes, okay? SMT regular battle themes, not boss battle themes, I believe. The boss battle in that game is better than the regular battle theme. Have you bought and played the DLC bit? No, I don't pay for DLCs. If I start Shin Megami Tensei 3 on merciful difficulty, is it worth it or is it too easy? It's way too easy, man. It's not worth it. But it's worth it for grinding. Okay, just play the game on normal mode, and if you get stuck in a boss battle and you feel like you need to grind to level up or to try and get a better demon, use merciful mode. You get a shit ton of experience. You kill everything in seconds, and you can recruit a lot of demons that way. So it just makes merciful mode is better used for grinding, but not to beat the regular game. It's just too fucking easy. What are your thoughts about Blue Reflection? I only played the sequel, Second Light, and it surprised me. It surpassed my expectations. I was expecting the game to be just merely a girls game, fan service game, and it turned out to be such a wonderful experience. Not exactly a masterpiece. The game does have a few flaws, but I loved it, man. I really loved it. The first one I haven't played it because it's usually kind of expensive, and I've been keeping an eye on its physical edition for some years now, but I still don't have it, and I still haven't bought it. I will someday. Hopefully I can play it someday because I really like the second game. One goal of the year, play and clear Tales of Destiny Director Scott. Yeah, I have to. If I ever want to make some kind of video called Tales games from worst to best, ranked from worst to best, I'm gonna have to get into that game. Atlus USA and Sega of America are not doing respectful things. They rarely do. Respectful things. More like they're actually doing very respectful things, very politically correct things, in my opinion. When was the last time you played an RPG and finished it in a handheld mode? Damn, man. I don't remember. Ever Oasis this year. But that was like 10 months ago, around March of last year, I think, February, March of 2023. That was the last one, Ever Oasis on the 3DS. Which JRPG is so bad that it is actually good? Mimana ER Chronicle on the PSP. It gets a lot of shit. The story is great, the characters are great, the voice acting is phenomenal too. But yeah, the gameplay sucks, the battle system sucks, the controls suck. It feels extremely low budget. It's a bad game, but it's so bad it's good. I fucking love it, man. But if I love it, then that means I don't think it's bad. But then I just said it's bad. So anyway, hope that answers your question. Mimana ER Chronicle on the PSP. Do you prefer turn-based RPGs or action RPGs? Turn-based. I like action, but I'm pretty bad at most of them. I prefer turn-based. I feel like I'm better and I enjoy them more. Ooh, yeah, Arc Rise Fantasia Remaster for Switch? Yeah, please. It's never gonna happen. Probably not. Unless one of these companies like NIS America acquires the rights. But yeah, I don't think it'll happen, man, but that would be fantastic. That game needs more recognition. It's a pretty good game. Pretty fucking difficult, but it's a pretty good game. Definitely a remaster will help it a lot, man. Quick thoughts on Crimson Gem Saga on PSP. Just real quick, it's a good game, but it's a massive grind fest. It's pretty difficult. You're gonna be grinding a lot, trying to figure out what to do. And yeah, those are some quick thoughts. It's a good game, play it. Recommend it. Just keep in mind it's hard. I have no thoughts on Honkai, Rail Star Rail or whatever, Genshin Impact. I don't give a fuck about free-to-play games, man. Thank you, Mad Radio. Thanks for the donation. There are rumors about a new Fire Emblem game coming out soon. I highly doubt it. They just released one less than a year ago. Came out at the end of January of 2023 called Fire Emblem Engage. I don't think they'll release a new game so soon. If they do, it's probably going to be one of those Warriors games, kind of like a spin-off. Like Warriors with the Engage characters maybe. Or some kind of mobile bullshit. And if they bring a brand new mainline Fire Emblem game this soon, I can almost guarantee it's not. It's a fake rumor. It's fake news. Well, more like a fake rumor. False rumor. So what are we at number 4? Battle for Survival, Digital Devil Saga 2. Never beat that game. But that was a great battle theme, man. Oh, and the last Fire Emblem Warriors was too recent. Came out in 2022, right? Three Hopes, I think, with the characters of Three Houses. I found it kind of like, they finally made the game into a proper action RPG, and it's only focusing on these characters from this game. I'm gonna wait for the price to drop on that game. I almost bought it for like $15. No, I think it was a little bit more, $20. For some reason I didn't get it. I should have bought it. I kind of regret that now. It won't be long before it's like 15 or 20 bucks again, and I'll get it. It's just, I'm a big fan of Three Houses, but not the biggest fan to buy spin-offs and get through an alternative story and pay a lot of money for it, you know. Happy New Year to you too, Union Gamer. Engage is a spin-off? Fire Emblem Engage is considered as a spin-off? I didn't know that. Will you get Stellar Blade? It looks great. Yeah, that's a Korean game, right? I'm excited for it. I'll get it probably when it's like cheap. Yeah, but I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to it. We'll see how it goes. And the Digital Devil Saga has some of the worst dungeon exploration ever. I don't find it boring though, as in to fall asleep playing it, more like it's just tedious. A shit ton of random encounters, you get lost easily. Yeah. Digital Devil Saga is brutal when it comes to dungeons, man. It's just, god damn. Was there ever a physical copy, Leave It or Run or something, of Chrono Cross for PS4 or 5? Nope. I think the only version of it is on the Switch. And I think it was handled by PlayAsia. No limited run games or anything of the sort, you know. Persona 3 Reload won't include the answer section. You're just finding out about that? That's old news. Will you be continuing to do a live stream every Sunday for the foreseeable future? For now, yes. Q&As will continue every Sunday for now. Yeah. Where's the Devil Survivor? This is for, I mean, you listen to this theme a lot when you're grinding. These games are not that grindy, especially not the 3DS version of Devil Survivor, but yeah, aggressive tune, you listen to it over and over again if you want to grind. Because you will grind in this game. You will grind, but not that much. It's not a grind fest. Yeah, but it's a really good game. Masterpiece. And that song, it's the first time I listened to it, I was like, okay, it's good, it's catchy, but it kind of sucks. But it's bad, it's good, man. I love it. It grows on you because you listen to it over and over again. My question about the Xenosaga trilogy remaster. It's been a while. I think I remember, I didn't get mad or anything, but I remember making a small rant like 5 or 6 Q&As ago about it, and people stopped asking about it. But now it's back, all thanks to Union Gamer. Ah, man. It's not happening. We need a remaster of all the Final Fantasy Tactics games. Well, if at least the first one, right? I mean, remember on the PSP era when Square Enix remastered Tactics Ogre and then Final Fantasy Tactics? So we got a remaster of Tactics Ogre on PS4 and Switch about a year ago. What's going on in there? Hopefully we'll get an FFT remaster this year. Hopefully. And I'll get it. Not on launch, but I'll play it. And it'll be the last time I give that game a chance. If they remaster that game and I play it and I don't like it, and I will officially say I don't like this game and I never will. Hopefully the remaster will make me change my mind. And yeah, I'm pretty sure the answer on Persona 3 is going to be some kind of DLC. Or we'll get Persona 3 Reload the Royal Edition at some point. Do you have a favorite JRPG story or character that was brand new of 2023? Let me think. Yeah, story. Redemption Reapers, and my favorite character was the protagonist herself, Sarah. So, yeah, that's a good question though. Best JRPG story and character of 2023. Best story, we're not counting remasters or remakes or anything, you know, because we did get a remake of Star Ocean 2 and Super Mario RPG, but the stories and characters in those games are old. Okay, all that was remade was the game itself, the gameplay, the graphics. The story was not remade, like in Final Fantasy VII Remake. So those don't count. And therefore, if those don't count, yeah, man, I'm gonna have to choose Redemption Reapers. I think it's got an unusual story with an unusual ending. The game got a lot of criticism because of the ending, but I don't know, I thought it was an original ending. I mean, what other JRPG out there ends up like that, right? Yeah, that was great. And I think Sarah, the main character, was a wonderful character. We don't get a lot of development out of her, which is usually the case in strategy RPGs, but she did get some development and some kind of, closure to her development at the end of the game. So definitely my pick will be Redemption Reapers. Very unusual pick, I know. Such an obscure game that went under a lot of people's radars last year. But yeah, that's my pick, man. Redemption Reapers, the best story of 2023. And definitely the best character. Yeah. Fuga Melodies of Steel 2 comes close. When it comes to storying, one of the best stories. Cry Machina could have been a great story had it not been ruined by the romance. Trails into Reverie had a great story too, but it was mostly a closure to the Crossbell arc and some Rin Schwarzer issues. So while the story is still great, I don't think it's one of the best stories of 2023. Because at the end it goes like pretty bonkers with some science fiction stuff and some like nonsensical stuff in there. I think Trails into Reverie for me was a game that stood out mostly for its gameplay mechanics and battle mechanics and music, right? Other than its story. But it's a good closure, right? It's just a lot of people won't be able to appreciate it unless they play the entirety of the Trail series first. So it's kind of a hard pick, but it's a great story nonetheless. Honorable mention, maybe. And I missed a lot of JRPGs from last year. Didn't get to play Fire Emblem Engage, even though the story was heavily criticized. So, without having played it, I can tell that's a no good for your question, man. What else? I didn't play Fate Samurai Remnant. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, this is the best battle theme in the entirety of Shin Megami Tensei. It's so good, man. I fucking love this. Definitely deserving of my number one. Anyway. Chrono Cross. I want to play this game. You should. Is the digital copy worse on the PS5? Or is the original PS1 version better? I say that the PS1 version is better, but the remaster, you can't go wrong with it. The only problem the remaster has is that the CGI cutscenes weren't remastered and they look kind of ugly, but everything else is better and it's a great improvement over the original. So, any version, man, just play it. That's a must-play game in this channel, right? The biggest must-play video game in this channel. It's my favorite game ever, man, so yeah, give it a try. Did you play Super Mario RPG Remake? Recently came out, yes, and I made a review of it. I'm binge watching all of your Q&As. Holy shit! You're doing that? You are binge watching all of my Q&As? That's, every Q&A is like 2 hours long, man. And you're having a blast? Wow. I never knew I was gonna find a fan that will watch the old Q&As and binge them. Wow, that's awesome, man. Wow, you have my respect. And thank you for that, for being a fan. Oh, man. Are you watching them from oldest to newest? I think the oldest was in 2018. Oh, man, it looked like shit, but it was fun. I remember. Oh man, the memories of that first Q&A in 2018. Shit. Man. That's how I wasn't expecting that comment, man. You can binge watch while you grind for levels. Well, yeah, keep them in the background, right? Alright, so that top 10 is over. Let's remove it. Now, I'm gonna play my last music video, and this is one of the oldest that I've done. It's my best regular JRPG battle themes from... I did this video in 2015, so don't expect to be some of the best ones, like V7 from Shin Megami Tensei 5 is not gonna be there, because the game didn't exist back then. So yeah, these were my 10 favorite battle themes as of 2015, December of 2015. So yeah. Top 10 best JRPG battle themes, plain and simple. This is my personal opinion. I've been saying that shit since forever, man. Anyway, number 10, what is it? Oh, no names. Just the picture of the game and that's it. Not the name of the song, that's lame. Well, keep in mind, I was making videos back then. I wasn't making a single penny. I had like 300 subscribers. I didn't give a shit. But yeah, this is a battle in the beginning. That's the name of the song, and it's a map theme. Well, it's not really a battle theme. It's more like an overworld theme. But anyway, it plays while you're moving your units around, right? So it kind of counts, I guess. Turn it up. Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, my favorite Fire Emblem game. Which JRPG you think has some of the best soundtracks? Chrono Cross, Chrono Trigger, Shin Megami Tensei 4, Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse, Shin Megami Tensei 5, Phantasy Star 4, Final Fantasy 6, 7, 8, and 9, Eternal Poison, Legend of Mana, holy shit, those are some of my favorites. Thank you, Fenrir. What Final Fantasy game would you recommend to someone who never finished a title or never played? I played but never finished 6, 7, and 12. Getting to 9. Play the remaster is decent. 7 and 8 also got remasters, but they weren't that great. And 9 is the star of the show here. It's a great remaster, not one of the best out there, even though I included it in my compilation of best JRPG remasters. But yeah, 9. I think you should play 9. 9 is the one that I recommend for everybody. Veterans, beginners, anybody. It's a must-play JRPG. It's my favorite Final Fantasy game, which is why. Maybe I'm biased. But it's an overly praised game, you know. Most people are not gonna tell you otherwise. Why don't you make a video list of all the Tales of Battle themes for the Q&A? Maybe I will. My favorite Tales Battle themes. Yeah, some of them are tricky. Bandai Namco does have some copyright claims for some of them, so I'm gonna have to be careful. I'm gonna have to leave out some really good ones. I don't think I can use the Tales of Symphonia battle theme, which is pretty good, the regular battle theme. You know, I don't think I can use it, but I'll see. Yeah, I've never done fuck, man. I was planning a music compilation video for next Tuesday. Maybe I'll do that. Tales. Maybe I'll do that, man. Well, we'll see. I guess I'll have to debate with myself this afternoon when I make the video. Alright. Yeah. Tales Battle Themes compilation. Something like that, right? Anyway. If Final Fantasy X is also a good entry for first-time players, I don't know, man. I found some of the last bosses in that game to be so fucking hard. But then again, I suffered through those bosses like 10,000 years ago. Anyway, so what's my number 9? This is the regular battle theme of Round of Swords. That was my number 9. I mean, it's a good battle theme, don't take me wrong, but yeah. If I were to make my 10 best favorite battle themes of all times, I made a top 50, by the way, which was pretty successful. Top 50 best regular battle themes of all time. So you can see my top 10 in there. This song is definitely not there. Oh yeah, it's a good one. If there will be fire on your apartment... questions, man. What 3 items will you grab first before you go out of the building? Oh man, my guitar, probably. Although it's fucking heavy. My laptop. I can't work without my laptop, and it will be a pain in the ass to get a new computer. So my phone, I guess. The important stuff, right? Yeah. Not an interesting answer. If you're asking about my video game collection, just ask, man. What 3 games will I pick up before leaving? Right? So I guess I will pick my copy of Chrono Cross, my copy of Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, and my copy of Haunting Ground. No, wait, Chrono Cross is my favorite game, sure, but the game isn't that expensive. I will grab my 3 holy grails. Haunting Ground on the PS2. Path of Radiance on the GameCube. And, holy shit, man. I'm taking too long to answer. I'm already burning alive alongside my collection. I'll probably stay and burn alongside my collection, man. Back me up here. Nephany is best girl in Path of Radiance. She is definitely one of my favorite characters. And she's fucking broken, man. She's a beast. At the beginning, she's kind of useless. In fact, the first time I played Path of Radiance, I didn't use her. I was like, she's kind of like meh, so I didn't use her. On my second playthrough, though, I was like, I'm gonna use her and I'm gonna train this bitch. And what a beast! Man, she's one of the best characters, that's for sure. But the best girl... It's just I really like Titania. I know that near the end she's kind of useless, but she's the tank. She's that character, and she's a wonderful character, and she's beautiful and hot and powerful, and I just fucking love her, man. The tragic character that used to be a lover of Ike's dad, you know, so she's, in a way, she's kind of like a stepmom for Ike. I don't know, I love Titania. But near the end, yeah, she's not that great. It happens to every tank character in Fire Emblem. You always have that babysitter character at the beginning for the first, like, 20-something hours. Oh, man. The first regular battle theme of Ark the Lab. I don't know if it's top 10 anymore for me personally, but fuck yeah. This is one of the best battle themes ever. Yeah, so Nephany, right? Great character, for sure. One of the best girls in Fire Emblem. The best, I don't know. But maybe it's pretty close. Top 3 favorite JRPG soundtracks for me are Eternal Sonata, Lost Odyssey, and Final Fantasy Type 0. Okay. Final Fantasy Type 0, I don't like that game, but the soundtrack was bonkers. I'll give you that. Do you play these days other genres besides JRPG games? I've been playing other genres my whole life, and I have never stopped. Environmental puzzles in 2D or 3D is probably officially my second favorite video game genre. Fighting games, adventure games, hack and slash, beat 'em ups. I love beat 'em ups. Shoot 'em ups. What else? I mean, yeah. How about bringing all the game shelf out? Oh, look at it, man. I don't think I can carry it with the games. Maybe I can carry it without the games, but with the games, impossible. Grab the PS5 and run. Well, yeah, that's my most expensive console, but it's easy to find nowadays. I will probably grab maybe my PS TV. That's a rarity right there. It's rare, it's kind of expensive, so yeah. Number 7. Oh, the regular battle theme of Xenogears. Yeah, of course. Fucking awesome, man. Who is best girl from Dragon Quest? Like, from which Dragon Quest? Or the entire series? Well, when it comes to fan service, you cannot beat Jessica and that huge, lovely cleavage. Yeah, Jessica from Dragon Quest VIII. She's the best waifu ever, I guess. Jade from Dragon Quest XI. She's sexy, she's powerful, she's awesome, she's cool, she's great, right? I love her too. Okay, what else? Well, in terms of fan service, there's also the twins in Dragon Quest. Was it 4? Yeah, right, Dragon Quest 4. The twins. There's a dancer in there. And, I forget her name. Oh, man. Well, you get to see her in all her full glory in Dragon Quest Heroes 2. She's not in the first one, is she? She is, I think, yeah. In Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2, you see her 3D model and not her pixelated, small as fuck art style in in Dragon Quest 4, the original or the remake on the Nintendo DS. No, you want to see her full size in Dragon Quest Heroes, man. Great games, by the way. Very recommended. No, Alina, that's not the name. Oh man, the twins. Oh, she's gorgeous anyway, that's the point. Yeah, those are the best waifus, I guess, but I don't know, man. There are others out there who are kind of underrated. Mia? Is that her name? Oh my god, no one's answering. Come on, guys. I see that I barely have any Dragon Quest 4 fans here. Dragon Quest 4, the twins were... Maya and Mina. Okay? Maya and Mina. Definitely. Greatly looking characters. There we go. Sounds to me like Dragon Quest 4 needs some kind of remake, modern remake, but with modern graphics, with Dragon Quest 11 graphics, so you can see the twins in their full glory. I don't play Xenosaga, but is its story related to Xenoblade Chronicles 1? No. I don't think so. I didn't find any references. Or maybe there was something really fucking small. Like some random NPC made a comment and that's it. But no, the answer is no. They aren't related. Do you think we will ever get a Dragon Quest 8 HD remaster on modern consoles? We got something similar for the 3DS some years ago. But yeah, we could use at least a freaking digital port. Square Enix, what's going on in there? I don't think we will, but hopefully we will. Which JRPG games you can customize characters the most? Like body, clothing, Code Vein, God Eater. The God Eater trilogy has a lot of customization, man, but it's not that deep. I mean, in Code Vein, they went bonkers, man. I've seen a shit ton of characters from different people, different gameplays out there. Yeah, Code Vein has a lot of character customization. I think it's one of the kings in customization. What's your favorite girl from Persona 4? Yukiko. Yeah, I mean, yeah. She's beautiful. You have the PS TV or the PlayStation 3D. I have the PS TV. I don't know what the PlayStation 3D is. What the hell is that? Do you think we're nearing the end of physical media for gaming? Nah. Give it 10 more years, man. We're not close to that. I don't think so. The fact that you conquered so many JRPGs is fantastic, man. I was only able to beat a few. Wow, that dedication to complete them. Well, thank you. Yeah, I've beaten about... The last time I checked was years ago, and I think I counted over 200. So maybe I can up that number to 300 nowadays. I'll need to come up with a number one of these days. What's your opinion about Miyamoto as a developer? Do you respect him? Miyamoto? Who's Miyamoto? Oh man. Tell me the complete name. I almost confused him with Miyazaki. Miyazaki, no, that's the Souls game. Isn't Miyamoto the Nintendo guy? I mean, the Mario guy? Shigeru Miyamoto. Yeah. Isn't that the most influential developer of all time? He created Mario and Zelda, man. Ah, man. Two of the biggest influential video games of all existence. So I have a lot of respect for that guy. obviously. Anyway. PlayStation 3D. Oh, well, wait, what's number? This is not my number, what, like 4? We're number 4? This battle theme is one of the best battle themes in the Tales series, man. I love it. Great battle theme. Anyway, PlayStation 3D is a 24-inch TV that you can play 2 views in one screen with the use of the 3D glasses. I didn't even know that existed, man. Oh, wow. That exists? That's crazy, man. I like your content. Thanks, man. I like your comment. The name of this song is an arrow was shot. Yeah, an arrow was shot. I think that's the name of the song. Motoi Sakuraba always comes with these weird names, man. Motoi Sakuraba is a composer. One of the best battle themes ever. Definitely. I hope we get a good new Star Ocean soon. We just got one like in 2022. I don't think we'll get a new one anytime soon. And we got a remake last year, so no, I don't think we'll get a new one soon. You have a collection video on your channel. I have like 3 of them, right? And I have several collection videos on my channel. Open a tab, type Erick Landon collection, you'll see a bunch of them. My latest one was a PS4 collection, over 100 games. Well, exactly 100 games. And it was supposed to be a celebration of the PlayStation 4's 10th anniversary. And I forgot to mention that in the video. Anyway, which Tales game have the best fluid fast combat? Oh man, Tales of Exilia and Berseria, in my opinion, have the best combat. Arise was great, but the combat was a bit technical. And Berseria was like chaotic and fun. Exilia 1 and 2, man, I had a blast with those combats, man, combat systems. I think Exilia 1 and 2 have the best combat in the entire series, in my opinion. Motoi Sakuraba is underrated in the West? Why? Isn't he one of the most popular composers ever? Right? I don't think it's underrated. Where is your Game Boy Advance collection? I only have 3 games, man. Completing Box, Fire Emblem, The Sacred Stones. Completing Box, Fire Emblem, The Blazing Blade, or The Blazing Sword. And a loose copy of Breath of Fire, the remaster. It got a long time ago. That's all I have on the Game Boy Advance, man. It's sad. Anyway. There we go. This is a classic. Persona 4. Reach out to the truth. I mean, it's fucking stupid battle theme, man. Grows on you. It's awesome. Give me a moment, guys. What's my favorite? So basically, what's my favorite combat ever? Fire Emblem on the Game Boy Advance or the GameCube / Wii. I mean, yeah, the Fire Emblem series has my favorite video game combat ever. I love it, man. I just finished Banner of the Maid a couple days ago. I'm gonna review it in a video next month. In fact, I already wrote my review of it. But the video won't come out until February. That's all I'm gonna say. It's just kind of similar to Fire Emblem, that's why. And I love the battle system. Fire Emblem has my favorite battle system of all time. PS5 has outsold the Xbox Series X. Why am I not surprised? Why is Microsoft still competing in the video game industry? Because they're still making money. I don't think it's about competition. It's not like, oh my god, I can't beat Nintendo and PS5, I'm gonna quit. No, they're still making millions, man. Millions of dollars. Why should they quit? I think you should give Zelda Breath of the Wild a try, man. Okay, I know the game is more about adventures and RPG, but it makes a JRPG man like me addicted to it. Hard to explain why. It's an open world game. I'm not really a fan of open world games, but I'll give it a chance one of these days, sure. Persona 4's music is better than 3 and 5? For me, yes. Well, that's debatable. Hard to pick which game has the better soundtrack, to be honest. I can tell you this, Persona 3 has the worst battle theme of all fucking time. The boss battle theme, though, that's great. But the regular battle theme in Persona 3... No, man. This one has the... 4 has the best regular battle theme of the 3. Last Surprise in Persona 5 is great, it grows on you. But this one is better. It's just a classic. The boss battle theme, I think my favorite comes from Persona 3. Anyway, I've never played Persona 5. Shall I start with the vanilla version and second walkthrough the complete version? Yeah. The vanilla version isn't censored. It isn't politicized. So there you go. Wow. Oh my god, from Grow Lancer to The Sense of Justice. This was so high on my list, it's just so dramatic. You need to play the game to understand why this song is so high on my list from 2015. Yeah. It's a dramatic theme. Why is it so high on my list? I don't know. It's great, but it's not... Well, it is fucking great. The Me from 2015. Will Persona 4 Remake be next? Sure. You bet your ass it will, but I think Atlas is gonna wait a few more years to remake Persona 4. Probably a couple of years, maybe. It's like they don't want to develop Persona 6. They have no idea what to do with it. Persona 6 is gonna be very political, I mark my words. Are you gonna play Persona 3 Reload? At some point, yeah. Not on launch. We need all of Vanillaware's games outside of Sony. Yeah, there's 13 Sentinels on the Switch. Yeah, we need the rest. You need the rest. I don't. I'm fine with the PS4 versions. But yeah, you people need the rest of them. It's on Switch, at least. I wish Revenant Army one day will be converted into a game. Oh, me too. Someone please make a strategy RPG based on my book. Yeah, what's next? Number 2. Strong Horse. Horse is in the animal. Strong Horse, that's the name of the song. Yeah, that's fucking great. Man. Wow, so this was my number 2 back then, huh? Okay. That's great. Persona 6 is gonna be released in 2027. Really? Hopefully. It feels like it's gonna be released in 2030, man. Did you hear the news about the kid who beat the original Tetris game? Yeah, I saw a bunch of videos appear on my feed. Yeah, I guess that's great. That's historical. Yeah, but I haven't watched a single video and I probably won't. Been following your channel for a bit. Awesome content, thanks. What have you been playing lately? I am playing currently a game called Poison Control. Let me show you the picture. Wait, my number 1 song is coming. Just wait for it. Wait for it. Number 1. It's a Tales game, I'm pretty sure. Number 1. Tales of Innocence? Oh yeah! The best Tales battle theme. And it's one of the worst Tales games. It's still a good game, though. I haven't played the remake on the PS Vita. I played this version on the Nintendo DS. Amazing song. It's not my number 1 nowadays anymore. But yeah, it's great, right? So I was gonna show you the Poison Control thing. Image. Poison Control. So this is the game that I've been playing lately. Okay? I'm only like 3-4 hours into it. and I do have a very strong opinion about it already, but I'm not gonna say anything. You're gonna have to wait for my review of it. And I just finished Banner of the Maid, grid-based isometric strategy RPG, and I just wrote my review of it, so video coming out in February. And of course I finished recently also, well, that was like 2 weeks ago, Shady Part of Me, which I fucking loved. Environmental puzzle in 2D, and I left my stream of it, not full playthrough, just the first hour of it, on my Twitch channel and on my second channel. You can watch it if you want to. Yeah, Poison Control, the only thing that I want to say about it right now is that it's an interesting game. Very interesting, very, very unique. Let's leave it at that. But there's a lot more to say about it. A heck of a lot more. Yeah. Is it worth buying a PS3 nowadays just for the RPGs that are stuck in there? Yes. There are plenty of exclusive JRPGs on the PS3 that never came out on other consoles. Like Tales of Exilia 1 and 2, of course. Tales of Grace SF, the Tales games, right? And there are others, that haven't been released on newer systems. A couple of exclusive, like Folklore, for example, Tears to Tiara 2, Trinity. Unfortunately, these games are kind of expensive nowadays, are around the $50 to $60 range. But yeah, that's what people pay nowadays for a brand new RPG. So yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah, there's some important games in there, man. My PS3 collection is back there. Yeah, some of the best ones on the PS3 are already on PS4, like the Trails games, Odin Sphere, Nier, Valkyria Chronicles. Well, Eternal Sonata is still there. It's also on 360, but I mean, the definitive version of that game is on the PS3, so that's a great reason to buy a PS3. What else is there? Oh, the Persona 4 Arena fighting games, but those are fighting games, they're not RPGs. And wait, they're also on Switch and PS4. They were remastered, so never mind. Yeah. What else? Oh, most of the games that I'm seeing right now are on PS4. Dragon's Crown, Disgaea 4, Persona 5, Akiba Strip, Lost Dimension. That's another one. Another reason for you to buy a PS3 because it's on PS3 and PS Vita. But, I mean, let's face it, you're not going to get a PS Vita and pay an outrageous price for the PS Vita version when the PS3 version, I think it's cheaper. And, yeah, that's another reason to buy a PS3. Some of the Atelier games that are cheaper on PS3 than on the Switch and PS4. Art on Helico 3, that's an exclusive on the PS3. That's a pretty good game. Sure, it went action before Final Fantasy did. Or Final Fantasy did it first? No, Art on Helico did it first, changing from turn-based to action. Yeah, but the game's still pretty damn good on the PS3. Yeah. Yes, my answer is yes. You have a lot of reasons to buy a PS3. I don't play Monster Hunter, man. Old Timer Eternity also didn't get re-released. That's a masterpiece. That's the best PS3 JRPG, man. Definitely a good reason to buy a PS3 in 2024. Have you ever heard or watched Critical Role? No. Does Erick do this full time? You mean the Q&As? No, only every Sunday. But if you're asking if I do this YouTube channel full time, yes, I do. Oh, the music is over? Well, the Q&A is almost over as well, so yeah. Last questions, guys. There you go. Arno Surge is also on PS3 and PS Vita. It was remastered on the Switch, only in Japan. So we, the rest of the world, are stuck with the PS3 or the PS Vita version. But since the PS Vita version is ridiculously expensive, yeah, stick to the PS3. Top 10 JRPG reasons to buy a PS3 in 2024. I'm planning a top 50, by the way, next month too. Top 50 best PS3 JRPGs. So I'll give you 50 reasons to. Never thought Erick would recommend Akiba Strip. Well, one of the worst JRPG series? Oh my god, no, it's pretty good. It's not a masterpiece, has some problems. It's just a game you play for fun. It's good though, I don't see it as bad. I think there's one in the series that got a lot of bad reputation and bad reviews, and that was Akiba's Beat, which tried to be a Tales clone with some rhythm stuff in there that sometimes you gotta beat the enemies by clicking the right buttons to create, and it was bad. And it's also kind of like very, very on the Akihabara scene with some idol bullshit focus. So yeah, I can see why it got a lot of trash. I didn't think it was bad though, Akiba's Beat. But Akiba's Strip? That's a good game, man. I don't know why it got a lot of trash. And it's developed by Acquire. A lot of people don't know that. You probably know who Acquire is, right? The same people who developed Octopath Traveler 1 and 2 developed Akiba's Strip. Oh yeah. Could I convince you to do that for the 3DS as well? What are you talking about? I already did that video. You mean like a top 50 best 3DS JRPGs? I did that video, man, like 2 years ago. You probably missed it. Huh. Do you have any JRPGs you want to buy in 2024? A lot of them, but I'm probably gonna wait for the prices to drop. I don't think I'm gonna get anything on launch. Maybe a Eiyuden Chronicle. Trails Through Daybreak. I probably will get a review because I get review codes by Nice America. I've been getting them for the past like 3 years or so, 2-3 years. But yeah, I'm not gonna buy anything on launch other than maybe a Eiyuden Chronicle. You should do all PS3 JRPG games from worst to best. Well, I already did a tier list video with ranking all of them on a tier list, which is pretty similar. Not exactly the same, but pretty close to it. So there you go. Do you own a PC handheld? Okay, you mean a Steam Deck? No, I don't. What PS3 game you still wanted to get this year? I think I got everything I want on the PS3. There's only one that I've been missing since forever, and that's Trinity Universe. I don't own that game, and that is the only PS3 JRPG. I mean, there's other PS3 games, not RPGs, that I would like to own in my collection. But the JRPG that I would love to own on my collection on the PS3, and is exclusive to it, is Trinity Universe. I'd love to own it. Other than that, I think I'm done. I think I own every single JRPG that I want on my collection. Yeah, feels like I own every game that I want. Anyway, so last question. So are you interested in Prince of Persia? No. About to reach 100,000 subscribers. Thanks, man. Any plans to make a special video? Yeah, I'll probably do a live stream, a special video, and if I can get my hands on Time and Eternity, I will stream it. I promised that a long time ago. But it's not a guarantee. If I can't get my hands on it somehow, I won't stream it. So I'm not gonna promise anything, okay? And that's it, everybody. That's it. Thanks a lot for asking your goddamn questions. Thanks a lot for hanging out. And I wish you the best for the rest of the week. And I will see you in the next Q&A, the next Sunday, 12 p.m. Central Time. Don't miss it. Be there. Thanks for watching, everybody, and thank you for your comments.